Moving on. So, in Ukraine, they're talking about nuclear weapons again. Former Deputy Secretary of the country's National Security Council believes that the authorities could ask the American, British, or French for it. He's talking about the Russian Federation placed their weapons in Belarus. What's stopping us from offering the French and the British to do the same? Nothing. So this guy wants the West to place their nuclear weapons in Ukraine, so Ukraine can be fucking sacrificed.
Політики вийшли б на рівень спілкування з нашими тими ж самими американськими чи британськими колегами і сказати, а давайте ми дамо дозвіл на розміщення ракетних, носіїв ядерної зброї і ядерних боєприпасів на території України. Білорусі ж Росія зайшла, що заважає нам запропонувати те ж саме робити тим же самим французам чи тим же самим британцям? Ніщо.
In other words, they just want to sacrifice Ukraine. A Ukrainian corrupt official, let's sacrifice Ukraine. Because they're just gonna leave, dude. They're just gonna fucking leave. We got another cringe. What is this? If a comedian would make a sketch portraying Jewish people dancing with stolen money, it would be denouncing as anti-Semitic. But if actual Jewish soldiers spin a video dancing with stolen money, Palestinian money, it's just most moral army in the world. Yeah, it's cringe. And obviously illegal, looting, war crimes. We got another boxer here. Floyd Mayweather is confronted by a pro-Palestinian crowd in Las Vegas. The boxer has stated his support for Israel in its genocide for Gaza, and previously went on a trip to support the occupation. Obviously, you got a celebrity here who took the money, dude. I wonder if that's why he's a celebrity. A typical American celebrity is a genocide supporter. They're all corruptible, dude. They're all fucking corruptible. Yes, they do stop anymore. All these American celebrities, they just support whatever they're supposed to. They don't give a shit about like 30,000 dead civilians, dude. They're a psychopath. That's the only way, dude. Who's this? People's Deputy Timchenko. Who's that, dude? Ukraine. For people, dictatorship is definitely a minus, but it's also a tool that can help us win the war.
країни для людей диктатура – це точно в мінус завжди. Але для перемоги війни, можливо, це той інструмент, який може допомогти перемогти ворога.
That's why they have no election in Ukraine, dude, and banned opposition parties. Right. The Havara Agreement was an agreement between Nazi Germany and Zionist German Jews, signed on the 25th August 1933. The agreement was finalized after 3 months of talks by the Zionist Federation of Germany, the Anglo-Palestine Bank under the Director of Jewish Agency, and the economic authorities of Nazi Germany. It was a major factor in making possible the migration of approximately 60,000 German Jews to Palestine between 1933 and 1939.
Coming out revealing secret negotiation between the Nazis and the Zionists in 1933, which allowed German Jews and their assets to go to Palestine.
I lived in Palestine from 1933 to 1936, and we saw every week transports of German Jews coming to settle in Palestine.
In the Berlin paper, Der Angriff, the publisher, Hitler's propaganda minister, Joseph Goebbels. A Nazi Visits Palestine was the title of the multi-part series. A medal was struck by Goebbels in commemoration. On one side, the swastika. On the other, the Star of David.
Weird, dude.
But a group of Zionists at the same time was quietly negotiating an agreement with the Nazis to allow the immigration of German Jews and the transfer of their assets to Palestine. That deal, reported in August 1933, was the transfer agreement. Palestine, sparsely settled by Jews at the time, was radically changed as a result.
I'm gonna save this because I know that people are gonna come in here and say, oh, the Palestinians collaborated with Hitler. It turns out it was the other way around, dude. We got Norman Fingerstein here, challenges Shapiro.
Mr. Shapiro, you know so much. Why don't you debate me? Where's the problem? You like to debate college students. I suppose you debate people in their second trimester. But how about debating an adult who studied it? They won't. Complete cowards. Cowards and criminals.
Zionist, Nazi, cowards, and criminals. Dude. Same as the community. Which we're gonna call it from now on, the community. We got Lloyd Austin here. What's he gonna talk about? Ukraine's existence is under threat. The US is recording the gradual advance of the Russian army in Ukraine, but Kyiv says it's able to hold the front line.
Most critical immediate and long-term needs. Our aim is to help Ukraine build a combat-credible force for the long haul. The capability coalitions will let Ukraine's friends coordinate our support for years to come. And they create a coherent, nimble, and sustained approach to Ukraine's long-term security. So this morning, I convened the first meeting of the Capability Coalition Leadership Group. That meeting infused even more unity of effort and purpose across these 8 coalitions. More than a dozen allies leading one or more of the capability coalitions gathered to discuss our progress and core.
Yes, it was. Digging. Lloyd Austin has been doing Lloyd Austin for a long fucking time, boys. What kind of drones are these? One of Russia's drone manufacturers is set to increase production tenfold. According to volunteer and aerial reconnaissance specialist Yuri Kazanov, the company in question is Ishevsk Unmanned System. To ramp up drone production by 2024, it has built a 5,800 square meter production complex equipped with software-controlled workbenches. The company has also created 360 new jobs. Cyber attack against Israel nuclear plant in Dimona. Anonymous group hack system. Lol, dude. I think Satin told them to blow it up, dude. So this one right here was killed by Ukraine in the Belgorod Zoo a few days ago. Grundy was playing in the enclosure when a shrapnel from an incoming Ukrainian shell killed her. Grandchildren survived. Okay. This does not look like a grown-up dude. The Houthis have declared war on the environment. The Green Movement must speak out about pollution from Red Sea maritime terrorism, which will devastate livelihood on the and the oceans. This is just bullshit. The biggest polluter is the is NATO and American Navy. The Houthis are not doing any environmental bullshit, dude. America is. Let's get the fuck away, dude. If Putin attacks, 1 in 3 Germans would take up arms for our country. I don't believe that, dude. I don't believe that 1 of 3 Germans would defend Germany. It's some bullshit pulling. So look at this. I'm not sure if this is someone complaining about Russia having snow. Is it not even Russia? Where is it, dude? Is it Canada? It's Canada, dude. It's fucking Canada. Ding dang. You got Russian liberals complaining about Russia using Canadian pictures. What's going on, ding dang. So take a look at this. This is a closer look at Russian fighter jet dropping cluster munitions. And they have a guidance kit. Look. Cluster carousel below and the guidance kit above. No. Very interesting video, boys, because of the high quality. You can see this jet dropped 4 of them. I wonder how many it can carry, Clickler. We got this one with C. Inspect the city of Changde in central China, Hunan province. Okay. I'm not sure exactly what's being inspected here, boys, but whatever. What is this, dude? So, Legion Liberate Russia, AFU. Is this the Russian volunteer corps pretending to be in Belgorod, dude? I think they're pretending to be in Belgorod. Footage of the RDK operating in Kosinka, a village located on the Russian part of the border between Belgorod and Sumy. Look at the music, boys. Hamas would not have missed this, boys. Look at the Viking music. They're not Nazis, they're Vikings. Look at the Vikings. They're not Nazis, they're Vikings. They're just some fucking Ukraine, dude. So cringe, dude. The bodies are piling up near Kopiansk. Though the ISW has only reported marginal gains in the Kopiansk, a Ukrainian infantryman told journalist Catherine Phillip of the Times of London that they have been losing so many people. There are so many bodies that we can't even bring them all back. Alright. In Ukraine, the age of conscription is 27. That's when people have started to work, have children, naturally not many show up. Now they're discussing lowering the age to 25, still observed. 18 is the right age, with bodies of growing strength. The Ukrainian army is much too small. This is a guy, not Ukrainian, advocating for Ukraine to destroy its gene pool and destroy its youth and destroy its future. Just insane Americans, dude. I'm sure that guy's fucking American. Doesn't matter too much. Ukraine is gonna get fucked, dude. Look. Fucking look, dude. Turbo is doing good work, at least. I showed you this video earlier. French army preparing to take part of the most serious conflict. Okay. I think there is like underground groups in Odessa, ding dang. I'm not sure how big they are. Is that an adult, dude? So I showed you this earlier. The Bollywood Zoo was shelled. No staff were killed. Very sad, dude. This one looks cute as fuck. We got Argentina's president Milei. I forgot his name, dude. Milei something. Supported the Cuban protest and called the Cuban president a son of a bitch. Okay.
Y este mensaje es para todos los hermanos cubanos que están despertando las ideas de la libertad, se están rebelando contra ese régimen.
Javier Milei. Nice click, luck. You were quick, dude. In Telegram and a personal message and on Discord, I showed how the Russian Defense Ministry reacted to these hysterics on the French president. Where are you? The Russian Defense Ministry is preparing for the escalation of the conflict and the participation of NATO countries in the conflict. Shoigu, by the end of the year, it is planned to form 2 combined arms armies and 30 formations, including 14 divisions and 16 brigades. In accordance with the decision of the Supreme Commander-in-Chief, the progressive development of the Russian armed forces and the increase of the combat capabilities continues. An Army Corps motorized rifle division, the Dnieper River Flotilla, and the Brigade of River Boat of the flotilla were formed. By the end of the year, it is planned to form 2 combined arms armies and 30 formations, including 14 divisions and 16 brigades. We will continue to improve the combat and numerical strength of the Russian army in proportion to the emergency threats to the country's military security. Nice. Hey Infidel, what's up, dude? It looks like Russia is expecting this to happen, then click look. More than 16,000 units of the modern weapons equipment are being supplied to the South military district. Russian Defense Minister Shoigu. In the southwestern strategic direction, a difficult situation remains in connection with the conduct of special military operation in Ukraine. Under this condition, the Southern military district continues to increase its combat capabilities. Organizational and staffing measures are being carried out. More than 16,000 units of modern weapons and military equipment are being supplied, and the construction of commissioning of more than 360 military infrastructure facilities are being completed. Turbo. Just gonna post this somewhere. Click lock. At least they are preparing click lock. I don't fuck this guy, Yemen. Fuck him, dude. What is this? This is a guy who voted, dude. Excuse me, may I ask you, today is March 17th. 12 o'clock, for whom did you come to give your vote?
Извините, пожалуйста. А можно я вас прошу, вот сегодня 17 марта, 12 часов, вот за кого вы пришли свой голос отдать?
Я голосовал вчера.
А сегодня вы только на протест пришли?
What? And today you only came to protest? What?
Меня товарищи с фронта вообще позвали. Сегодня мероприятие на 12 часов. Какое-то мероприятие непонятное. Тут против президента действующего.
Так.
Какие-то навальнисты
Some Navalnyist want to come instead.
хотят прийти. И какие-то провокации. Я этим пидором пришел ебальники набить.
Shit, dude.
Я понял.
Вот и все.
Понял.
We condemn the bad word, dude. Condemn the bad word. But this guy came to organize protest, and that guy came to beat them. Lol, Satin. It was essentially too old voting for Navalny, the Nazi. You condemn the bad word. The only reliable way, so what is this? Which one do you do first, dude? So the only reliable way to enhance demobilization is allow combat brigades to independently engage in their nutrition. It's simple. The brigade removes the list from the TCC and itself engages in the search for swindlers. The fighters of the brigade are much more concentrated in the replacement brigade, so the swag will not help. As soon as the brigade reconnaissance company is given the task, then we deliver training evidence and equipment for them will be What is this, dude? I don't understand. The deputy commander of the ASOP proposed to give the brigade the opportunity to mobilize themselves. So ASOP is gonna go and find people in the street, dude. He believes that brigade's reconnaissance company could mobilize 100 men a week. It's simple, the brigade receives the list from the TCC and itself searches for draft dodgers. He added, these will not be old grandfathers who are now surrendering en masse, but selected warriors who managed to escape from TCC employees. So until the last Ukrainian, dude. Until the last Ukrainian. We got a German here looking at an old map. And in this map, we can't find Ukraine or Poland. This is from 1908.
Bei meinem Opa gefunden habe, ein Buch des Kurs. Leipzig und Wien. Das ist die politische Übersicht von Europa, also eine politische Karte. Und hier haben wir die Halbinsel Krim, die zu Russland gehört. Auch Russland. Also die Halbinsel Krim gehört zu Russland. Was ich noch entdeckt habe, also Warschau früher auch ein Teil Russlands war. Aber lassen wir das. Die Halbinsel Krim. Uns wird gesagt, dass es Teil der Ukraine ist. Teil der verdammten Ukraine. Wo ist die Ukraine auf der Karte? Ich sehe gar keine Ukraine. Österreich, Rumänien, Deutschland. Wo ist die verdammte Ukraine? Also das ist alles eine Lüge. Verdammt nochmal.
It's all a lie, boys. Where's the ceasefire for Ukraine?
I spoke to the Prime Minister today about the need to provide the people in Gaza with comprehensive humanitarian aid supplies. We cannot stand by and watch Palestinians risk starvation. That's not us. That is not what we stand for together. Much more humanitarian aid is needed continuously, reliably. I shared my concerns with the Prime Minister that provision of aid from Israel into Gaza and the conditions for distribution must be urgently and massively improved. And finally, we need a hostage deal with a longer-lasting ceasefire. I know how difficult it is to reach an agreement with the Hamas terrorists, but we understand the hostage families who say after more than 5 months the time has come for a comprehensive hostage deal for saving those who are still held captive. I want to express my appreciation for all the mediation efforts undertaken by the government of Qatar as well as Egypt. They have our full support.
Where's the ceasefire for Ukraine, boys? When Biden said he would throw Russia back to 19th century. Haha! Do it, dude. Do it. This is Rostov done. This is Crimea. Forgot what that city is called, dude. The railway connecting Rostov-on-Don with Crimea through new regions will begin to operate fully by the end of 2024. That's way too late, ClickLock. That's way too late, dude. Russia needs to be able to build a railway in like a fucking week. Why is Russia slow as fuck? What is this called? ClickLock? Simferopol something. ClickLock poll. Simferopol. What do we got here? Devil Comet returns for the first time in 71 years during April 8th eclipse. So that's gonna be, where is Uppsala? Uppsala, are you here? Uppsala is not here, dude. But Uppsala would understand that the American Satan worshipping will do something with this, dude. Rare and explosive devil comet will appear in Earth's skies for the first time in 71 years. And the satanic worshipping elites are gonna do something with this Satan. They're gonna kill like a celebrity, do some sacrifice.
The sheriff.
Insider exposes April 8th emergency. What is this? What is April 8th emergency? Does that relate to... Look at this, Satin. April 8th, okay?
The sheriff called me yesterday.
PPG, the only one who got exposed and is also exposing themselves to other kids is too old. Lesbian is self-reported, dude. She pretends to be an expert about humanitarian things, and then she complains about Russian anti-personnel mines, and then I look at the human rights reports and says 0 casualties. Meanwhile, the Ukrainians have killed like hundreds of kids, dude. Oh, Russia is just as bad, except they're not, dude. 0 casualties versus 200 casualties. Ah, Russia bad.
And after he got done telling me everything inside this meeting that was happening, I pretty much was nerve rattled after what I heard. But I'm going to tell you what the emergency, what's behind this emergency for the solar eclipse, what's the deeper intel, and not only that, how they want emergency communication systems to be implemented, what specific groups they're going to be targeting. We're about to get into all that right here, and information that I did separate research to try to link up and confirm more on this scenario. So he gets on the phone with me yesterday after they have this meeting. Who's this meeting with? It's with Homeland Security. So, and he said there were New York instructors there. I have a list right here. I took notes of every single thing that he said because I couldn't record his voice. Obviously, he's trying to stay discreet. He said they were focusing on anti-vaccine people, anti-government people, preppers, Trump supporters. He even goes into deeper in the scenario what we're going to get to here in a second. But he said they didn't want the public to have any communication between each other. Any communication at all. And we told you yesterday that sheriff that came out and said it could be a potential terror attack. Well, we got more intel on what could actually happen in the solar eclipse, but just listen to this 23-second clip really quick.
That solar eclipse is on the same time with that fucking meteor is coming, Tim. You understand that, right?
But that's not all that he's concerned about.
That people want to do us harm, use an event like this where a lot of people are gathered to do some type of terror event.
The director of the Lake County Emergency Management Agency told me they've been preparing for the solar eclipse now for about 2 years.
They've been preparing for this for 2 years. Imagine that, for 2 years. That sounds like a lot of preparation going into that. And in the video yesterday, I told you the military is getting into a building that they won an Allied war in World War II, which is Idabel, which you can find that video after this video. But let's get into this right now. So they don't want any communications between us. And what is the big event that they're doing? This is what he told me inside of Homeland Security yesterday they were talking about. He said, during the solar eclipse, while people are all out there looking, they're planning, the intel that they've got is a possible biological attack on people while the solar eclipse is freaking happening.
You guys are fucked, boys. They're gonna spread some shit in America.
Yes, I just said that while the solar eclipse is happening. And you're like, okay, well, where are they gonna do that? Well, all the people out for the solar eclipse, I'm potentially believing could be targets. Okay, so this is not speculation. This is totally inside information about what they said. And they're talking about how the first responders' mental health, they need to prepare because their mental health is going to be very, very, out of whack after this. So when he told me that they potentially might be doing a biological attack, that's the intel. Who's going to be doing it, I don't know. But however, I looked deeper, and then I seen that 3 weeks ago, none of us was paying attention to.
Click like America is gonna attack itself on April 8th.
The fact that
we need some FSB information. Click like
the FBI just had a training drill for a biological attack, and they're getting hospitals ready for it. So I want you to look at this video clip real quick and just look at what we all missed and how this lines up with the agenda.
Staff at multiple local hospitals are now better prepared to handle a potential emergency. The FBI spent time in 3 ERs today in our area, walking doctors, nurses, and other staff through what they could do in case of a bioterrorist.
Hey Salman, we're looking at the guy saying America is going to attack themselves on the eclipse on the April 8th.
Disaster. 11 News reporter Elmer Mejia Segastumi is joining me live from Penrose Hospital, one of the locations that participated. An agent with the FBI told you that disasters like these help improve communications, or disaster exercises, I should say, help improve communication among staff and others.
At Cube, you need to go somewhere on October 8th, dude. There's also some sort of comet happening on October 8th.
Adam, a hospital official says that these drills are important in keeping the staff on their toes and prepared. They say the staff hospital
What the
does
Hellcat Cube?
drills throughout the years. It helps them determine what needs the hospital may have depending on the situation. Special Agent David Autry says no drill ever goes 100% perfectly, but they consider every drill a success because it helps them identify the
Nice,
things
Salman.
the FBI and hospitals need to improve on. Hospital officials say the disaster scenario was a toxin put in people's milk. The goal was to monitor how departments and agencies communicated with one another.
It's because of the solar eclipse and the comet. It's a ritual. Click look.
There's a need for all of us. There's no one single agency that can handle this alone. Again, we handle that law enforcement investigation, the lead from the federal side, but that includes our state and local partners from law enforcement, includes public health. When you look at a WMD event, it's going to require all partners to come together.
The FBI and local hospitals say that after these disaster scenario exercises,
Appreciate that super chat. Now, I have so much more to tell you. But please, while we're live right now, while you're watching this, share this out, more importantly, to your friends, to your family, to all the people that's going to be going to this solar eclipse, so we could potentially avert them getting hit with biological materials that is probably going to be dispersed on crowds when this event happens. That's the inside intel, and there's more intel than that we're finna get to right now. Target list, let's talk about how they're telling law enforcement in this meeting with Homeland Security, they're telling them on the population.
Guys, remember that most people in the West, they can be bought to do pretty much anything.
That, hey, look, we need you to enforce information because during the last pandemic, everything got out of hand. We need you to track their cell phones, which they did in the last pandemic. We need you to basically be in control. And why you think all the communication systems are upgrading? You see all these counties saying, oh, we got to upgrade the communication systems. And then you see where they're having all these meetings and stuff like that for the communication system.
At least we can verify if this is gonna happen, Swankia.
So,
not long, dude. April 8th.
The reason they don't want any communication between us because they said how the public was distrusting all of them, how we distrusted them.
It's a Monday.
The ongoing operations of the first pandemic, because we're not just talking about what's happening in the solar eclipse, we're talking about the potential next plan, which he gets into here, and he talks about every single virus they talk about. And when I'm looking here, that's because I got this list. I told you I took notes. I wrote down all this stuff when he was talking to me on his phone call. So the communication basically is the reason why emergency stuff is coming out right now is because
that's not the point, Swankia. The point is what the establishment is going to do when this happens.
We're not going to have communication with each other. They're going to make sure that he said it's only going to be cell phone communication. Like you're going to get emergency alert. The emergency.
One thing we can verify from Kia is whether communication in America breaks down.
Systems, like I was saying, they're not going to be able to be like, you're going to have your Faraday bag ready because the tracking system. Somebody says, "Thank you, sis, Stephen, appreciate you." No problem. So the emergency systems, you need to get your Faraday bags ready because they're going to be tracking you actively. They're going to be looking into that. They're going to be basically trying as much as possible to get who's on the target list. So the next thing is they talked about a lot of different virus things, virus scenarios. We want to get into that right now. And he was talking about the deer situation, right? The zombie deer thing. He said that was one thing that they said was going to jump to humans, and basically since that's in a lab somewhere, you already know what's going on with that. They're whipping it up and they're going to try to make something jump. He also said that in this meeting with Homeland Security, they were talking about how they were going to be ready to lock people in their houses. And he gave me this map as well. So the map is pretty much, he said, this is public knowledge public knowledge right here. And this is basically the map here. So whenever environmental supposedly disasters happen, this is the response in all the states, and they call this apple tree map. Interesting. So moving past that, he said the main things inside his Homeland Security meeting that they talked about, what they were going to need to install certain people for the CDC's interests, meaning politicians that's puppets. They talked about Ebola, they talked about COVID, measles, and like I just said, the brain wasting disease. How to map out, this is the part where it gets crazy. Obviously we've got some rain about to come, but we're gonna be able to finish this before that happens. Mass casualty. How to map out the population and round up the homeless. So this is another thing they're talking about within these meetings. He's gonna have a meeting also coming up, so you want to stay around, because Monday I'll be telling you about the next meeting, which martial law.
Not sure, CatCube. I can try and find it.
Is what they're talking about in that one. But they're talking about locking people into their homes. 2, he said that they're going to try to get religious people on board with getting people to get the vax. So basically saying that the churches, the preachers and stuff like that, they're going to go around and they're going to have campaigns to try to push them to get you to trust them when they pull out this next version of whatever the pandemic is, so that you can go and take, you already know what they're going to be pushing. Somebody says, we are real out here, JWTV. Yeah, we are real, and this is all getting real, and I'm telling you, this information here, extremely. He said this was the composure of Homeland Security. They were extremely, worried, he said. Extremely worried. And so, the first day was supposed to be an exercise. He said there was no...
The good thing about this, Van Kier, is that he's saying dates and shit, which is very coming up soon, so it should be easy to verify.
Exercise. And also, they didn't allow any cell phones in the building because they didn't want anybody recording anything. So all the information here that I'm giving you, you're not going to get it anywhere else. This stuff should be spread out massively. Do you know how many lives could be saved during this event just because we avert this? And we know people are still going to say, well, I'm not going to not go. I'm going to go anyway. But let them do that. But the problem is the people who don't know, if this doesn't get to them, and they don't have a chance to basically avert what's coming. And that means that all of us should be prepared and ready if they're going to spread something biological. That's how the first half of this next event begins. Spreading something.
Then we can verify it. If communication goes down on April 8th, then that makes it seem likely.
All these people, hundreds of thousands of people out there. After that, they go back home, they go wherever they go. And then from there, it just amplifies and spreads. So this information here is so critical, and I'm leaving it on you. I'm leaving on every last one of you to choose the choice to get it out to others, because that's all I can do. YouTube is not going to do that. It's really up to you at this point. And if you just tuned in the video and don't know what's going on, you got to watch the full video again. The video yesterday I put out linking to this is really important. You should see. Again, the donation link will be below to help.
So take a look at this, CatCube. Devil Comet returns for the first time in 71 years during April 8th eclipse. CatCube. That's why it's a fucking ritual, dude. I'm not sure if you can find that fucking video. I got something here. CatCube. That link has the YouTube video as well, dude. All right. Putin tops global leaders in citizen trust. Lol, boys. Lol. Putin at 76%. Biden 39. I bet that's bullshit. Macron 27. Rishi 21. Olaf 14. That's so bad, dude. Yeah, I did 39 is a bit much. I feel like it's okay. Putin won the 2024 election with 87.28% of the vote. The landslide result on an unprecedented voter turnout prompted a storm of reaction from Western leaders. Relevant data suggests that Putin tops other major global leaders when it comes to citizen trust. Sure does, boys. This is from the Russian philosopher Alexander Dugin. Yemen saves the face and dignity of all Islamic civilizations, ready to be sacrificed, pure Shia attitude, suffer for the truth and suffer more. That is the law. Yeah, I think it's a lie too, Shilbel. I think it's way lower than that, dude. But you notice Scholz, dude, that's pretty fucking low. 14, dude. But he did destroy the country. Now listen to this, boys. Biden admin warns American states to be on guard for cyber attacks against water systems. They're saying Iran and China is going to do it, but what's probably going to happen is Americans going to hack themselves. Okay? Putin's Russia keeps calm and keeps fighting.
Despite the loud statements by European and American leaders about the non-recognition of the elections in Russia, the NATO member states backed out on the political battlefield. The West continues to consider itself the main source of legitimacy for the whole world, but in the end it has to accept reality. The top of European diplomacy turned out to be ridiculous wordplay. So the Germans now have to say just Putin without the word president, but Berlin is not going to break any contracts with Moscow. Joe Biden will not congratulate Putin on his victory, but Washington will proceed with the realities of Putin being president of Russia. The West takes after the petty Kiev regime, where it is customary to write the surname of the president of Russia with a small letter. Of course, all these cruel measures should greatly upset Russian President Vladimir Putin, but they actually confirm that NATO lost the battle against the Russian elections. This is also the fact on the battlefield. All Ukrainian attempts to break through the Russian state border were repelled. After the elections ended, the intensity of the border attacks has significantly decreased, but attempts to gain a foothold in the Russian village of Kyzinka continue. This settlement is located right on the Ukrainian border. Hiding in the houses on the outskirts is the easiest way to gain a foothold on Russian territory, but Ukrainian militants have been failing so far. Unable to achieve any gains on the ground, the terrorist Kiev regime continues the intense shelling of the Russian border settlements, killing and wounding civilians. After a short pause, fighting intensified along almost the entire front line. The villages around Avdiivka are inflamed by heavy battles. On March 19th, the Russian Ministry of Defense officially claimed full Russian control of the village of Orlovka, located to the west of the city. Ukrainian forces attempted several attacks near Novokalinovka, probing Russian defenses on the northern flank, but they did not achieve any significant gains. Amid Russian victories in the South Donetsk direction, the Ukrainian military command was forced to transfer reserves to the area of Kurakhova. Such measures are especially necessary because entire Ukrainian units are surrendering to Russian forces in the area. Newly shared footage confirmed that a group of 18 Ukrainian servicemen, along with their commanders, surrendered near Georgievka. The United States is surprised that fewer and fewer Ukrainians are willing to die for American interests.
Remember the stats we heard earlier, boys. 1,000 Ukrainians tries to leave Ukraine per day. 60,000 Ukrainians try to leave mobilization after they were mobilized in 2023. 4,000 in 2024 have already tried to leave after being mobilized. But 1,000 tries to leave Ukraine a fucking day, dudes.
U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham, who had previously declared that the death of Russians is the best investment of the United States, came to Kiev again with a request to strengthen mobilization and throw more Ukrainians into the slaughter.
Lindsey Graham changing the mobilization age in Ukraine is going to destroy Ukraine.
It's good to be back in.
So Jens Stoltenberg confused Georgia and Azerbaijan.
It's good to be back in Baku, and it's good to be here, not least because that reflects
Baku is in Azerbaijan. Is it in Georgia?
How much we value the partnership between Georgia and NATO. And I also welcome the fact that you just a few weeks ago visited Brussels. Now I am here. And
I don't know if he was in Georgia or Azerbaijan, dude. He associated Baku with Georgia, and that's definitely wrong. Every time the authorities and politicians lie to us, they are robbing us of our free choice, manipulating and using us as political pawns, to provide a sense of legitimacy to their corrupt systems.
About 200 years ago, the philosopher Immanuel Kant gave us his theory of deontology. Now, this is the idea that things are right or wrong, regardless of the consequences and regardless of your feelings on the matter. It's a duty-based ethical theory. Now, as a part of his deontology, Kant gives us one quite stringent rule, that you should never lie under any circumstances. He argues this in two ways. The first way is that when you lie to someone, you are robbing them of all the information that they might need to make autonomous decisions. And Kant was all about autonomy. If you rob someone of their rationality, you're doing them a really big disservice. And the second reason is that when you lie to someone, you are essentially making a decision for them and you're trying to use them to get to some other consequence. Essentially, you are using them as a means to an end. Ultimately, Kant says you should never infantilize anyone. You should never lie to them, and you should always treat them with dignity as a human.
The Western leaders always fucking lies, dude. Have you tried comparing like Xi or Putin's speech to like Western leader speeches? It's completely night and day, boys. We got Al Jazeera reporting on Peter Navarro. What is absolutely embarrassing for America? What?
Thanks. Okay. Give me some space, okay? Okay. I'm afraid
What is this about?
for this country, because this, what they're doing, should have a chilling effect on every American, regardless of their party. If they come for me, they can come for you. Well, I'll see you on the other side.
What about a pardon from Trump, sir? No.
What's happening here, boys? Do you know?
All right.
I don't know what's happening. Peter Navarro. Why was he arrested or something? Since the 1st of March, French troops are already deployed to Ukraine and have been killed in noticeably numbers, particularly with the one missile strike on Kharkov. 2 French troops have been in Ukraine even since before the beginning of the SMO. A French presence on the ground would not have been a game changer. Military impact, they would have to deploy the entire combat with the armed forces, try to change the situation. And even that, it's doubtful how much they could actually achieve. I would have to assume that the only actual purpose of openly announcing it is sending French troops in an official capacity is that the French government believes that they can render certain areas of targets off limits for the Russian advances and strikes against. They assume that the Russian government would be afraid to attack French troops. That is an interesting gamble. If they go for it, we'll see how it plays out. So the French troops have been in Ukraine since before 2022. And after, they've been killed by the Russians. The only reason why Macron and the government of France is announcing it now is because they expect Russia not to kill them. Navarro was contempt of Congress conviction and refused to produce presidential records to national archives related to some Trump admin stuff. Yeah, it seems related to J6, dude. I don't know what that was. I don't know. The enemy attacked Belgium again with Tusky U missiles. Tusky U has been used a lot by the EU crops to kill civilians, obviously. BB Belgium. Okay. Oh, that's from some time ago. Never mind, dude. Never mind. So take a look at this. Boeing. Commercialization at the expense of safety. The inner windshield of an Alaskan airline Boeing cracked mid-flight on March 17th with 160 passengers and 6 crew aboard. The incident added to the recent itinerary of Boeing's troubles, which amongst others includes an Alaska airline Boeing MAX 9 blew out a window and a portion of its fuselage shortly after takeoff from Portland, Oregon. A right wing of the Boeing something fell apart on the US Airlines. Can I show you this actually? You guys remember this one, right? That's a Boeing. And this was something else.
Oh my god, it's on fire!
The wing fell apart.
Oh my god!
After takeoff.
It's on fire! Mom!
I don't remember this, dude.
Holy shit. I hope they're okay. I wonder if they're doing an emergency.
I don't think it's okay.
No, it's still doing it. It's still doing it. Oh.
What's happening is Boeing is falling apart, boys. On March 4th, United Airlines from Texas to Florida had flames bursting from one of its engine 20 minutes after takeoff. On March 7th, a US United Airlines flight lost a piece of its landing gear during takeoff. I showed you that one. Boeing has suffered numerous setbacks since 2 fatal crashes involving the manufacturer's 737 MAX 8 planes in 2018 and 2019, killed a total of 350 people. Multiple experts agree that Boeing went off course soon after Boeing McDonnell Douglas merger in 1997. The deal has been criticized for supplanting the legendary company's focus on innovation and quality with bureaucratic defense contractors culture. Once driven by engineers, the company reportedly became governed by finance. Activity in manufacturing contracted by the 14th consecutive month in December, as per Institute for Supply Management. Furthermore, the woes plaguing Boeing, an aerospace company pivotal to the US manufacturing industry, reflects the overall decline in this sector and overall decline of America. Boeing represents the decline of America and too old. Iran yesterday celebrates Nowruz, the Persian New Year. Where were you, Satin? Fake Iranian. It's a week-long celebration. Nowruz. What is DEI again, Chicane? I remember Priscilla talked about that. Or what is it? Priscilla said it's some lip stuff, but I don't know what it is. Diversity and inclusion. Okay. Typical lip bullshit, dude. Nice going too old. So take a look at this. We got a Ukrainian neo-Nazi here. Refugee brutally attacking a migrant in Italy subway. I can't show you all of this, but I can show you something. That's the neo-Nazi. Look at the fucking boots and shit. He's gonna attack this guy. The Ukrainians are fucking nuts, dude. Seems like he's attacking multiple people. think he was attacking multiple people, dude. Oh, it's just a meme. Fuck off, dude. Fuck off. Gaza. Entire cities rassled to the ground. Tens of thousands murdered. 2 million displaced and starved. The worst crime against humanity of the 21st century. If they lower harming standards for DIA, it could have negative consequences. Except that's not the reality. They cut corners and put subpar parts. Yes, they do that. They do that. They are doing that. But DEI is also doing it to tin. Could be both, exactly. Could be both. The people that are just like, I don't know what to do. It's like having too old.
Watch me. And maybe honestly,
combat. It's exactly what you think. Just think of American hiring standards.
God, that's all I think. Watch me. If you think I don't have the energy level or the mental acuity. Maybe, honest to God, that's all I think. Watch me. If you think I don't have the energy level or the mental acuity.
Watch me. We are watching, dude. Combat. Canada was exposed. You were exposed. 2 Ukrainian drones were eliminated over Ingles in Saratov region. Ingles airfields. I remember this. It's in the north, I believe. It has been hit multiple times, boys. I'm just trying to figure out. I think it's in the north of Russia. I need to fucking pee. Where is Ingles?
America is a nation that can be defined.
I think
in a
it's
single
north
word.
of Kiev, north of Kharkov. Okay.
Excuse me.
Engels was hit a year ago or some bullshit like that. Thank you for being here, Shelbel. You should post some pictures of your fish tank on your Discord. Yes, it is Stop Animal. Slovenian philosopher. We watched some of this yesterday or the other day. He was completely fucking insane, dude. And British journalist Piers Morgan dehumanized Russian, Arabs, and all believers.
What?
So this guy is some coper that thinks when he talks funny, touches his face, he seems like an intellectual. But he's an obvious fraud dude. And we watched him with Piers Morgan exposing himself as a fraud.
Horrors they are saying, Russian media. What horrors they are saying, Russian media. They have a full return to religious fundamentalism. They portray the war in Ukraine as the war of Christian civilization against demoniac satanism and so on. I mean, they are no less than Arabs. They are today in the worst sense.
Arabs bad, dude. What the shit? Yeah, it's so dumb stuff animal. I feel like he's hiding behind his weird attitude.
Fanatical religious fundamentalists. Yes. They have to be stopped unconditionally. The West has to stop this ambiguous game.
Does the West have to stop all Arabs, dude? Is he calling for the genocide of all Arabs? What? Is he talking about the destruction of religion? What's he talking about, dude? I don't think Zakab is doing cocaine, dude. Zakab was pretending to be cool and said, oh, I did weed once and I believed in reptilians just like Matt's stream, but now I stopped doing weed and just like people just like, yeah, fuck off, dude. People know you're just a phony.
Game of trying to support Ukraine, but not too much.
What does this have to do with Arabs and religion, dude? Well, what's he talking about?
So that we will not annoy Russia too much, and so that we will not hurt our standard of living too much. No, we are in an emergency state, we, Europe.
I completely agree with you.
You're fucking insane, dude. I completely agree. That's fucking nuts, dude. That's fucking nuts. Let me try and read what he said. What horrors they're saying in Russian media. They have full return to religious fundamentalism. What does he mean? They portray the war in Ukraine as the war of Christian civilization against demonic satanism and so on. No, they don't, dude. No, they don't. Ukraine is demolishing Orthodox churches. That's true. And you should shed a light on that. But that's not the reason for the fucking war, dude. This is just insane. This is insane, dude. The attack on the Orthodox churches came after the invasion. It was not part of the objectives. The defeat of an Abrams tanks. Let's go in PPG. Yeah, that was just dumb, dude. And none of that made fucking sense. It doesn't relate to reality at all. That does not relate to reality whatsoever. This, one of the tanks were destroyed in the village of Berici. Okay. A letter of thanks from a Palestinian. A letter of thanks from a Palestinian to the American people. PPG.
بما انها وكاله انباء امريكيه اول شيء بنشكرها وبنشكر الامريكان لان الامريكان ناس طيبين وتعاملوا معنا بشكل طيب محترم. بدونا رغيف خبز وبدونا ساندويش وبدوا الاسرائيليين صاروخ ودبابه وطياره. اطفالنا هذول الموجودين هذا كمان 10 سنوات 15 سنه بده يصنع قنبله ذريه في بيته ويمحي اسرائيل كلها. ليش؟ شاف ابوه بموت قدامه، شاف عمه بموت مستشهد قدامه، شاف اهله بيتهم مسبوق، هذا بده يعيش في خيمه من الان 10 سنوات عشان ما يلاقيش له اكل وشرب الطفل الصغير هذا، فكيف بدنا نخلي نرفع الكراهيه والعبء من قلوب الاطفال زي هذول؟ كيف بدنا نرفعها؟ باي اسلوب كان قولوا لي انتم كيف بدنا نرفع؟ نخلي طفل زي هذا نرسم على وجهه بسمه، بدنا نجيب له صاروخ ونقتله، نجيب له رغيف خبز نضحك عليه، لا بنضحكش عليه، مين بده فيكم خبز امريكي يا شباب يا اطفال يا صغار؟ ايش اللي بتفكروه يعني؟ هذا هي رسالتي انا للشعب الامريكي، للامريكان، للعالم كله، وحسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل على كل ما ظلمنا نحن الشعب الفلسطيني. بعدين الشعب الفلسطيني مش شعب ارهابي، الشعب الفلسطيني شعب حضاري.
The American won't get it, dude. They'll just be like Arab terrorists. Children learn the Holy Quran in a shelter centers north Gaza. Hey, Upsala. Upsala, we saw that. I'm going to show you this, Upsala. Because maybe you know about what's going on here. On October 8th, there's going to be like a devil comet passing through Earth for the first time in 71 years during the solar eclipse. Okay? And there's talk about insiders exposing potential abuses of that, so they want to release biological weapons when people are watching the solar eclipse. And they're gonna do some ritualistic bullshit, and they want to cut communications. It's not a never-ending war combat. What happened is that Israel is committing massacres against the people of Palestine. These are massacres going back 100 years, done by the IDF, backed by the Delta Force, Britain, Canada, America, against people in sandals. These people were raped, pillaged, burned, brutalized, forced out of their homes, and it started here. And in 1917, the Balfour Declaration was signed, giving illegal land to Israel. So there was a beginning. If there's a beginning, then there's an end. And the end ends with the death of Palestine or the end of occupation. You understand? What do you mean I don't recognize? What are you talking about, dude? The only thing I'm talking about is Israel is illegally occupying. And I'm not referring to my opinion, I'm referring to international law. So your opinion don't matter, my opinion don't matter. International law matters, and that's what I'm referring to. I'm referring to international law. You're just saying bullshit. That's just like any other copper. And it doesn't matter what you think, it doesn't matter what I think. I'm not sure what's wrong with you if you turn Zionist or something, but your opinion is irrelevant. International law has spoken out. Israel is illegally occupying, and I'm referring to that. I never said Israel has no right to anything. I said that Israel has no right to self-defense because they're illegally occupying, and that's adhering to international law. Right is within the context of a legal framework, so yes. And you can't just say, I can do this. I have the right to do this. I mean, why do you have the right? According to which law? And we are referring to international law. Okay? Which are with Palestine, not Israel. Children learning the Holy Quran. Disrespecting the Holy Quran is illegal in Russia. Hey Captain, what's up, dude? You can't just make up a law as an occupier saying I can do this. That's dumb, dude. Look at how jealous they are from us, the IDF and the Israelis. You need some of this, the black hate passion project, what? I watched that videos published by Israel, and I watched that videos published by Palestine. I literally watch both sides combat, and I'm showing videos today about that. I'm watching both sides, and I'm showing you guys both sides. It's not a never-ending war, dude. I told you at the beginning. If there's a beginning, there's an ending. If you want the dying to stop, you should just promote following the law. I mean, it's pretty simple. If you follow the law, there will be an ending. I don't know how this is controversial, dude. If Israel follows the law, there's an ending. You do realize that, right? If Israel just follows the fucking law, there's gonna be an ending. I don't know how this is such a big problem for people to accept. Why do you accept that Israel is breaking or is above the law and they should be allowed to do that? It's so weird with you people, dude. Just follow international law and everything will be alright. I don't get why this is so tough, dude. Why is this so tough? And you are not recognizing that Hamas doesn't want a river to the sea solution. I don't care about that. I told you, if you follow international law, things will be alright. Just follow international law, things will be alright. You don't care about the one side that is fighting. I don't know why you would say that, dude. We know what's happening. Israel is committing a genocide. And you have resistance from Palestine for occupation. I'm standing up for resistance, obviously. Any decent person would do that. Any decent person would stand up for resistance, yes. They would do that, dude. And Palestine should resist occupation. Any country should resist occupation. The Charter of Hamas says exactly that they want to get rid of their occupiers. They want to get rid of the Zionists. It also explicitly says that we don't want to kill Jews. It refers to Zionists. I have the charter. I looked at it, dude. Here's the charter. Hamas affirms that it's in conflict with the Zionist project, not with the Jews, because of their religion. So I know about the charter. You don't. What do you mean coping? I just read you. I have the charter. I showed you the charter on this. You just mentioned the charter. I mentioned you what's in the charter. How is that coping? Right. What the charter says, which you didn't mention. I'm mentioning that. That's not coping. I'm just detailing what you're lacking, dude. So you don't know anything. So I'm showing you what's in there. That's not cope. That's just being normal, dude. That's just normal, dude. So it makes sense that this charter makes perfect sense to me, dude. Here's another bit of it. Hamas rejects the persecution of any human being or the undermining of its or her rights on nationalist, religious, or sectarian grounds. So what they're talking about here is they are against genocide. This charter is pretty good, dude. This charter is pretty good. I'm not sure how that's coping combat, because you said, what about the charter? There's the charter. And they say they are against Zionists. And they explicitly point out that they're not against Jews. Combat, what did you think it said? Did you get it wrong, Combat, just like you get everything else wrong, too? I have a question for you. Some smartass argued with me on YouTube and said, between Russia and Ukraine, for the war back in 2014, Russia broke the rules first. What? No. The Russian army was observed in Ukraine in 2022 by OSCE. Russia was not in Ukraine in 2014. Random people online just say that to cope or win a debate, but there's no one recognized the Russian army in Ukraine in 2014 or after. That it happened in 2022 February. That's when the Russian army entered Ukraine. That's very well understood information. So people say whatever, Captain, and they will just lie to you and said the Russians went into Ukraine and killed a bunch of people. And they'll just say whatever. So you can't defend Ukraine without lying. You can't defend Israel without lying. Just look at combat. He's trying to talk about the charter, and he didn't even know the charter. So he's just trying to say, look at how bad these Arabs are. Look at the bad charter. Okay, let's take a look at the charter. Here's the charter, dude. And the charter makes perfect sense. So this is just another example about how you can't just defend Ukraine without lying, because they're in the wrong, dude. You can't defend Israel without lying, Captain. So whenever they say these things, just know that they are most likely lying. And then they're going to send you some bullshit information somewhere. So OSCE recognized Russia in Ukraine in 2022. They observed the Russian army in 2022, not before. There's a lot of information about, Russia went in and did that. Okay, but how do we know that's true? I mean, people saying that doesn't make much sense, dude. I mean, you could just say, it's not true. And then where would you be? In 2014, Russian troops were on the territory of Ukraine. Yeah, that's in Crimea. That's in Crimea. The Russian army never left or entered Crimea, though. That's true. But the Russian army never entered, invaded, or left. They were always in Crimea. That's also when people say that the Russian army invaded Crimea. That's also inaccurate. They were always in Crimea. They've always had military bases there. That's right. Cluster rounds. I'm not sure. This from a Russian cluster. Oops. This was a gift, dude. This is a Russian cluster. Yep. You can see that's where the cassettes were, boys. That's where the cassettes were. Yeah, they go in and criticize the charter, dude. And then when you look at the charter, there's just nothing. And that's like typical fucking American satin. Oh yeah, but they said something bad, so we can kill them. It's just like completely fucking insane, dude. ICJ is acknowledging that Israel is doing a genocide against civilians, the Palestinian people. What about the charter? It's just like, come on, dude. The charter could say whatever the fuck it was, and it wouldn't even matter. The charter could say the worst part about Jews, and it would not be relevant. But it's not doing that. It's just another thing that they're wrong about. You don't get to commit genocide because there's some sort of evil charter somewhere. It's just typical Americans, too. Take a look at this. Special Forces soldiers in the SMO zone received a batch of new invisibility suits. This is cool, boys. Yep. This is cool. The development has enhanced camouflage characteristics due to the fact that it breaks and blurs the silhouette. The suit does not restrict movements of military personnel and can be used both in forest areas and urban areas. At the same time, it weighs only 350 grams and can easily fit in your pocket when folded. Backlog, I need one of these too. We're gonna cross the border. Putin used a dog as a weapon, said Baerbock.
Dass Putin immer wieder mit der Angst der anderen spielt. Und das ist, glaube ich, das Allerwichtigste. Wir haben ja erlebt, wie zu ganz anderen Zeiten er damals einen Hund...
That's an old, outdated charter combat. It's an old, outdated charter. The reason why it was rewritten is because Israel abused it. So the Zionists, so Hamas rewrote it.
Auf Angela Merkel losgelassen hatte, weil wusste, sie mag keine Hunde und hat
Because Israel abused it. Israel pretends that they are Jews, but in reality they are Zionists, right? That's why Jews reject Zionism and reject the Israeli project. All over the world they reject it. But Israel is abusing that. They just say, no, we're actually Jews. So they can say anti-Semitism and people complain about the genocide. But that's why Hamas cleverly, as they should be doing, just changed the wording from Jews to Zionist, and then everything is all right again.
Angst vor Hunden.
It's the same thing that happened. You know, before October 7th, right? People could not criticize Israelis. But after October 7th, people realized that there's a difference between Zionism and Judaism. And since that's the case, you can freely criticize Israelis for their evil wrongdoings. For instance, killing the most amount of children that has ever been done on the planet. That was done by Israel. And you can criticize them for doing that because they are Zionists, dude, not Jews.
Sehen, dass auch immer wieder mit der Angst der Menschen spielte.
That's Merkel, dude. Evil dog, Knicklock. Evil dog, Knicklock. Look. Attack.
Unsere Zusammenarbeit in den vorigen Jahren als Russland die
auf das Thema Energie- und Klimaschutz sein. Und ich glaube, das ist auch eine Kontinuität der russischen Präsidentschaft.
Dog seems normal, dude. The dog seems normal. Captain, the point is that they're trying to make it seem like the dog was after Merkel. But the dog seems completely normal, dude. Comment. I'm not sure. Document for 2017. I think it was rewritten in 2016. Combat. The document was rewritten in 2016. I already showed you. The document publicly says they're not against Jews. They are against Zionists. I already showed you that. And they did that so to circumvent Israel's abuse of Judaism, which is well known to the entire fucking globe, except you apparently. That's why the House in America passed a bill saying anti-Zionism is the same as anti-Semitism. They did that because Israel are Zionists, not Jews, so they had to pass that bill. You see that, right? No, that's not what it was. It was because the people in Israel, they identified themselves as Jews, right? And if you identify yourself as Jews and you attack the Palestinians, then you become the enemy. If Jews attack you, you look at the Jews as the enemy. That's perfectly normal behavior. You just hate Arabs so much that you go out of your way to find any reason for them to be bad, so you can justify them being killed by a genocide. And like I told you, that charter could say whatever. It's completely pointless. The charter could literally say, we want to assassinate or genocide Jews. It doesn't matter. Israel is doing a genocide against Palestinians. The charter is irrelevant. It doesn't matter what the charter says. I already told you that. And you're still just like super hyper-focused on the charter, even though Israel is doing a fucking genocide. It's I don't understand it, dude. But like I said, Hamas circumvented the cheating, the trickery that Israel did by pretending that they are Jews. And America proved that combat. That's why America passed that bill. Anti-Zionism is the same as anti-Semitism. That's why they passed that bill, because Israel is anti-Zionist. They are Zionists, sorry. And that's why they had to pass that bill. So you can see what that America publicly admitted that Israel is a Zionist state, not a Semitic state. Otherwise, they wouldn't have to pass that bill. but they did. So don't take my words for it. Just trust the American government, dude. This is a guy looking for his family. But the charter. Don't think he can find a family, dude. Yeah, but I don't know why you're so focused on the charter combat. What's the point, dude? The charter, I keep telling you, the charter could say whatever it wants. It's irrelevant. Israel are the ones that are in action, committing a genocide. Anti-fascist can be called anti-Germans. Don't want to watch that, dude. That's pretty tough. You don't need to worry about the charter combat. It's a piece of paper. You should worry about the genocide that's going on, that's been done by the Canadian government, the Israeli government, and the American government. That's what you should really worry about. You don't need to worry about some charter somewhere that has zero relevance. I'm saying it has zero relevance because it's not an action. A charter is not an action. An action is what's being done right now, and that's killing a shit ton of people, dude. And that's what you should really worry you. I understand it's not worrying you because you hate Arabs. 2 patients died following the stopping of the electricity at the Al-Aqsa hospital. That one is still alive. But you got kids here that died because of no electricity. You don't need to worry about the charter combat. That's a mute point, dude. You got actual actions. You don't need to worry about a piece of paper. You got actions that's happening. You don't need to worry about the charter. There's no justification for genocide. No justification. Hey, Monsieur Bolus. How are you doing? Genocide is the worst crime that exists to combat, and it has no justification. You can't just think that there's a charter somewhere and that's a justification for genocide. That's not how it works, dude. That's just you being an Islamophobe. I hate Arabs, dude. There's no school systems that are in Palestine that are there to kill Zionists. But what is happening, systematically improving, you can't prove what you're saying, but I can prove what I'm saying, is that you got families being taken out by Israel over a period of 75 years, right? Almost 100 years, right? And that leaves children behind. And these children, they want to have revenge. So you have a system that cultivates resistance. And that's what's doing it. The constantly killing of Palestinians is cultivating this, right? But you have schools in Israel that is cultivating the death of Palestinians. That exists. And I got a video to prove it, right? Because I'm not like you. I don't go around saying random shit that I can't prove. So right now you have it all in wording, right? But it's quite well known that if you kill or enslave a group, there will be resistance. So that's quite known. But in Israel, there's actual schools of them being taught to hate Muslims, where they talk about killing Muslims. And they say the only good Arab is a dead Arab, shit like that. Right. There are 2.1 million Arabs of all types in Israel, yes, and some of these Arabs have spoken out about how they are being treated. For instance, there is a different law in Israel depending on whether you are Arab or a Jew, Muslim. I mean, you can be an Arab Muslim, Arab Zionist, but there's segregation, and some of these Muslims in Israel, they wanted to protest the war and they got put in prison. So there is a lot of segregation and racism with with the Arabs in Israel. And a lot of the Arabs who lives in the West Bank and was working in Israel, they were actually deported from Israel the last 5 months. So that number you have is probably gone drastically down, dude. It's probably gone drastically down.
Видите, в чем проблема?
Yeah, that's the other thing, dude. Israel always post their war crimes, dude. They always post their fucking war crimes. That's how we know that they have been told to hate the Arabs, dude, because they post it publicly. Well, we have seen videos of how they are treated as well as they continue to live their safety. You've probably seen propaganda videos. You've probably seen videos where they want to portray them as being the good guys. That's just propaganda. That's just propaganda videos, and you are incapable of telling the difference because you hate Arabs that much that you're willing to believe. You're willing to believe whatever. So Israel has a bunch of Arabs that they hire for propaganda video, and we've exposed this here on the channel many times, that they are part of the digital media company of Israel, and they're there to make fakes. Take a look at this combat.
ירושלים, מה עובר לכם בראש? מה זה ירושלים? בית המקדש.
כותל. מה עוד?
מי מאמין שבית המקדש ייבנה בשנים הקרובות? מה יש שם עכשיו על בית המקדש? אז מה יקרה עם המסגד? יישבר?
They're gonna explode the fucking mosque combat. But I thought that the Arabs were being taught in schools to hate the Jews, but here we have a video proving the other way. What's happening?
אם מכם פגש בשנה האחרונה ילד ערבי?
Is it the other way around, dude?
דיברת איתו?
לא, הוא דחף אותי, אבל לא הלך.
ומה קורה כשאתם רואים ילד ערבי? מה אתם מרגישים?
רגשות זעם.
זעם?
Kill them. These are children wanting to kill Muslims. Is it the other way around, dude?
פוגשים ילד חילוני. למה אתה מרחם עליו כשהוא ילד חרדי? מה הוא מפסיד?
הוא לא הולך לדרכם.
כשאתם חושבים על ירושלים בעוד 10 שנים. כולם חרדים?
לא כולם חרדים, ערבים חלק חרדים.
So, ethnic cleansing.
ויש גם ערבים שהם עבדים.
The Arabs will be the slaves. This is a very well-known video, fairness. No, that's weird, boys. I thought it was the other way around. Right? I thought it was the other way around. But then when we look at actual material, it turns out that Israel was just lying, like they have been all along. And then you got people backing up Israel, just repeating the Israeli lies. Sibirushk, I had to delete the VOD because there's some bullshit I didn't want to show in the VOD, so I deleted it, dude. Sibirushk, are you here? Where's Sibirushk? I saw him, dude. Sibirushk. We got a message of reproach from this child to the world that has failed us.
لو هم وقفوا معانا لو كان هزمنا اليهود وخلصنا الحرب بدل ما نضلنا هيك في خيام وتدور الناس منقصفات والمستشفى الأوروبي تملت كتير وهي خيام خير الله هنا في الأوروبي مش خايقين حنا فيش ولا أكل كله معلبات زهقنا احنا من هيك العيشة زهقتنا.
Do you know what I've noticed with these people in Palestine, that they express themselves so much, dude?
انه تخلص الحرب وتوقف نخلص كل شيء نبنى دورنا ويوقفوا معانا خلاص معاي لهنا.
They express themselves so much, dude. Do you understand what they're saying, Salman? Sibushk. Keep dreaming, Ukraine.
Політичні рішення теж готуємо. Зокрема, для нас в Україні
та для усієї Європи принципово, щоб реальні переговори щодо членства України почались в червні без затримок. І це буде правильний політичний сигнал, що Європа достатньо міцна і точно не піддасться
This about Ukraine joining Europe, dude. Why didn't you do that 10 years ago? Sibirushka, what happened in Rathbone's chat, dude? Can you describe what happened? The leader of the free world.
You've united Europe in a way
The reason why you can't see the VOD is because I deleted it, Sibirushka. I didn't want that. There was some shit in the VOD, so I deleted it.
increased NATO and the border of NATO from bringing in Sweden and Norway. And he says it's changed the world.
What?
You've united Europe in a way. You've increased NATO and the border of NATO from bringing in Sweden and Norway. And he says it's changed the world.
I don't get what he's saying, dude. Yeah, but what did you say, Sibirushka? I don't understand, dude. What did Two Old say? What did he say, dude? We got the work of FSB here. Hey, Toms. Ukrainian intelligence. Okay, not the FSB. It was, sorry. Ukrainian intelligence accomplice detained in Kosovolsk on Amur. FSB officers detained a traitor who intended to transfer information to Ukraine about the activities on local defense enterprise. Minus 1.2 bad data from Italy. Yeah, but I don't understand why you guys were banned, dude. That's surprising. Yeah, but why would you get banned for that? That makes perfect sense, dude. So that makes perfect sense, dude. That's why I don't understand why you were banned for that. These guys were obviously tricked, bunch of bowlers. But traitors nonetheless, dude. I still feel bad for them. Still feel bad for them, though. Altai Mountains. No, I did not, Ding Dangler. But some of my viewers did, because they were defending me from Too Old. Too Old was talking shit about me and they defended me and they got banned. Which I don't understand, though. Dude needs to be exposed for the fraud he is, dude. Obviously. In Poltava, a military registration and enlistment officer employs beater man in broad daylight. In front of residents. No one is doing shit, dude. More mobilization going according to plan, dude. I don't want to show this video more than we have. Sunak rejects Lord's plan to protect Afghan heroes from deportation to Rwanda. I don't care about that. Crimea that sailed away from NATO.
В эфире «Вести», и мы продолжаем выпуск.
Этим летом в Крыму начинается масштабная модернизация медицинских учреждений. Об этом сегодня сообщила глава Минздрава Вероника Скворцова. А еще совсем недавно, по меньшей мере, одну больницу в Симферополе собирались переоборудовать по заказу ВМС США.
Вместо больницы и вместо школы в Крыму могли возникнуть американские военные объекты. Тендер на...
American bases could appear instead of schools.
Работая, официальный сайт госзакупок снял только недавно. Наш СОБКОР в Крыму Николай Долгачев убедился, что после воссоединения Крыма с Россией школа осталась школой, а больница больницей.
Nice one.
Американцы всегда проявляли повышенный интерес к военным объектам в Крыму. Но вот вход в бывшую базу подводных лодок в Балаклаве. Ее они долгое время считали приоритетной целью для ядерного удара. И после развала Советского Союза интерес не пропал. В Севастополе натовские военные присутствовали все эти годы. Постоянные визиты и инспекции. С разрешения украинской власти изучали даже секретные комплексы.
В этих штольнях тоже были американцы. Здесь были представители 6-го американского флота. И их тут было достаточно большое количество из различных управлений. Они выходили, и у них просто были такие, знаете, интересные эмоции, связанные с тем, что как же это так? Это же вот такое вот... столько денег затратил Советский Союз, а самое главное, какой он был богатый. Чтобы построить в Соединенных Штатах Америки вот подобное сооружение, это же надо какие деньги иметь.
Валерий Борисович Иванов, бывший советский офицер, сейчас замдиректора в музее, которым стала при прежней власти, часто встречал заморских гостей.
За время работы моей в администрации, за 15 лет, к нам в Севастополь было совершено более 25 заходов иностранных судов. Это американцы, это итальянцы, это турки. Цели проведения разведки, до разведки, визуальной разведки, уверен, что были у каждого этого военного корабля.
Боевые корабли НАТО в Севастопольскую бухту неоднократно пытались встать на дежурство. Демонстративно напротив российских эсминцев. Только реакция жителей города-героя заставляла американцев действовать осторожнее. Против НАТО в Крыму митинговали Севастополь, Керчь, Феодосия. Требования всегда были одни и те же – прекратить продажу национальных интересов. Но западные спецслужбы внедрялись все глубже. ВМС США, как следует из официальных источников, планировали в своих целях перестроить больницу в Симферополе и школу в Севастополе. На реконструкцию здания хотели потратить $500 000. В школе детей заранее готовили с разведкой.
Ну, скажем так, я далеко не молода, и предполагать я, конечно, могла, что бесплатного сыра в мышеловке нет, поэтому чем все это могло обернуться, понятно.
Украина превращалась и Крым в черную воронку, в черную дыру, в геополитическую воронку, которая бы фактически была бы втянута или нацелена на Россию, и России бы пришлось...
О том, что американцы платили за работу в Крыму многим, в том числе в структуре власти, создав агентурную сеть специалистам.
Американцы все это подавали не как центр разведки ЦРУ, подавали как различные фонды. Они работали здесь и занимались, конечно же, в первую очередь вопросами разведки.
Больше всего средств в Крыму американцы вкладывали в Севастополе. Понимали, что это главная стратегическая точка Причерноморья.
Это не просто мечта, там или Турции, скажем, или там Соединенных Штатов. Это одна из лучших бухт в мире. Внутри Севастопольской бухты есть еще 12 бухт, где стоят корабли. Это великолепная, укрытая, закрытая военно-морская база.
Теперь больница вряд ли когда-нибудь примет на лечение американских морпехов, а школа уж точно останется школой, а не превратится в штаб разведки США. Военные понимают, тот, в чьих руках южный берег Крыма, тот контролирует, и все Черное море может наблюдать за югом России. Именно поэтому у НАТО такой интерес к Севастополю. Николай Долгачев, Антон Березин, Дмитрий Федорченко. Вести, Крым.
Holy shit, dude. So, Ut, thank you for the gifted. Again, thank you so much. Yes, it's in, and now Tool is going around and talking shit about me everywhere, dude. Mobilization against one's will reason for a lawsuit.
Значно засуджую, однозначно. Принцип дуже простий, аргументація моя така. Коли була історія, якщо не помиляюсь, минулого року, можливо, навіть трошки раніше, на початку минулого року, з ситуацією в Перемишлянах Львівської області, я набрав відразу керівника ТЦК СП у Львівській області, запитав, що це таке, що він може пояснити. Знаєте, яка його була відповідь тоді? Мені потрібно робити показники. Я кажу, стоп. Ми, здається, живемо не в Росії, живемо в правовій державі. Ми маємо думати з перспективи, як мінімум, про кілька речей. Перше, який приклад показують військові іншим, яка мотивація створюється в цих хлопців, і більшість тих, хто на нулі чи поруч з ним на фронті, поруч близько воює безпосередньо щодня, вони вам скажуть, такі хлопці ніяк не мотивовані, їх неможливо, в принципі, заставити нормально воювати, вони можуть ще інших підставити. Тобто має, напевно, процес якийсь перевиховання тоді проходити після таких ексцесів. Наступна річ – це є предмет для позову до суду. Причому міжнародного суду, це захист прав людини. Значно.
Okay. Putin, okay, we saw this one. Scholz.
Das, was jetzt als allererst
Scholz on the Russian elections and the signal to Putin. The very first thing that is important now is to send a clear signal to the Russian president, who organized a kind of election. He should know that his assumptions that we cannot support Ukraine for as long as necessary are wrong. In other words, he shouldn't count on the US to elect a president who will immediately bury Ukraine. He should not count on us to be able to mobilize sufficient supporters over time. Remember, Scholz has 14% approval rating, dude. Russian athletes can't appear in Paris Olympics opening ceremony. They announced Tuesday athletes from Russia and Belarus are not able to participate in the Summer Olympics opening ceremony in Paris, as the organizers try to sanction the two countries over Russia's invasion. They can still participate, though. Ukraine will not launch its own production of shells until the second half of 2024. Whatever, dude. The French Ministry of Defense denies the plan to send 2,000 soldiers to Ukraine. Alright? A Ukrainian swam across the Dniester River to escape from Ukraine to Moldova and met his Russian brother. I'm not sure if this is legit, boys. Are they even brothers? So what is this? German school children should be prepared for war to strengthen our resilience. The country's education minister has said. Civil defense exercises should be held in schools as part of the efforts to help youngsters cope in the years to come. Germany preparing for war, dude.
Let's get to it.
Germany preparing for war, dude. Belgrade was attacked again. That's today. I don't know if there were casualties. Hey, Billy Hicks.
Сад прилетела, Вик.
We got an old one here, resident of Avdiivka. Under the guise of charitable evacuation, children are abducted from residents of the cities in the DPR occupied by Ukraine. So, in all parts of the city, there lived a family with a baby. Agitators arrived and offered to leave. The parents refused, and on the same night, the shell hit the house, resulting in the death of the grandmothers and grandson. Ukraine did it because Russia was not even close at that time. So there's many stories of the SBU and Ukrainian soldiers going in and abducting children by force. So that's why in the occupied areas, the Ukrainian families was hiding their children until Russia came.
Люди жили, маленький ребеночек, младенец еще до года. Приехали агитаторы. Если родители отказывались выезжать с детьми, они детей как бы принудительно, раз вы не хотите, значит, тогда детей заберем. Никакую не захотели ехать. В эту же ночь прилет в их дом. Родители ранены, бабушка с ребеночком погибли. Кто? У нас не было тогда и близко возле нас ни российских, ни ДНРовского не было.
We hear this a lot, dude. They're selling the children. They're fucking selling the children, dude. What is this? Not sure why I captured this, boys. Whatever. Now take a look at this. A top executive at the Bill and Hillary Clinton airport in Arkansas was shot and killed as federal agents served him with a search warrant. Weird, dude. Fucking weird. Did he resist? I assume he resisted, but that's the information we got, dude. Yes. The French Ministry of Defense published a video of the battle of a frigate with the Houthis in the Red Sea.
Plusieurs missiles de défense antiaérienne sont lancés. L'attaque émane des rebelles Houthis. Elle a commencé à 4 heures du matin. Pour neutraliser plusieurs drones kamikazes, les marins ont employé des obus de 76 mm. Ils déchirent.
Yeah. Look, ClickLock, do you recognize this? The US has not provided any specific details about the new test of its hypersonic missile, which shows that it has nothing to boast about. Military experts, blah, blah, blah. The vague wording of the US may indicate that it has nothing to brag about, but at the same time, when even the Yemeni Houthis report the test of hypersonic weapons, they need to report some success as well. If you recall last year work on, okay, whatever. Oh, this is supposedly an American hypersonic missile, but it's like they tried testing it multiple times and it did not work. Let's get Ukraine to test it, though. Putin on recent Ukrainian attacks against civilian targets within peaceful Russian mainland cities.
Первичная задача – обеспечить безопасность. Здесь существуют разные способы, они непростые, но мы это сделаем. Я уже говорил об этом, просто не хочу сейчас в этой торжественной обстановке вдаваться в детали. Но безусловно, будем над этим работать. Говорил также о том, почему это противник предпринимает такие действия. Вот. Конечно, мы можем ответить тем же можем ответить. И по гражданской инфраструктуре, и по всем другим объектам подобного рода, по которым противник наносит удар. Вот. У нас есть свои взгляды на этот счет и свои планы. Будем идти по тому, что мы наметили.
Interesting. In case you guys missed it, Ron Paul wants people to prepare for impending Black Swan event.
I think we're reaching this point where some sudden thing is going to happen. I believe in that theory of the Black Swan.
Yes.
It's going to pop up and it's not going to be controllable. But people, you ask, what can they do? I think the most important thing is understand what's going on. Is education. That's why I happen to have a homeschooling program.
Just have a bunch of food, dude.
I try to teach this stuff early because you can't change it. You can't go in and say, okay, you want $50 an hour. We can't do that, but we'll have a compromise with the other people.
Food and water.
We'll just give you $32 per hour, guarantee. That kind of nonsense. You have to be able to, tell them what they have to do. One is to protect the money. One is to protect your wealth. But when I go through this, when people really want to know some details, and I get a little more in detail, I said, but really, the most important thing you do is study and understand what's going on. Because if you come away from that and you're able to accumulate a lot and get by, and you have your guns and you have stored food and all that, it's not going to work. You have to understand what's happening. You have to know it's coming. It's very, very dangerous, and that's why I love to see smaller units of government. Anything that hints that says they're springing up an idea in our states to act like they ought to act.
Yes.
And they're starting to. They're starting to get more independent.
He's obviously talking about World War III, boys. We got this comedian that I showed you the other day as well, dude. He's gonna do more cringe bullshit. You ready? It's like too old. Obviously cringe, dude. Obviously fucking cringe. Shoigu said we shot down 419 Ukrainian drones and 69 missiles during the presidential elections. That's a lot, dude. That's a lot. In 3 days. Chemical tanker capsizes off Japan's coast. At least 8 dead.
午後0時半ごろに山口県下関市沖で NHK のヘリコプターから撮影した
This one was capsized on purpose, boys, to cause ecological disaster. The Japanese seawater is completely fucked, dude. Remember, 2 old said it was okay, this water.
山口県下関市の六連島の北北西の沖合で韓国船籍のケミカルタンカーキョヨンさんから船が傾いていると救助を要請する通報がありました。荒天のため怒りを下ろして停泊中だったということで、海上保安部によりますと船は転覆している状態だということです。このケミカルタンカーにはかつてこれまで航空機や巡視船
Does it say anything? One crew survived. No, whatever. The moment when former US President Donald Trump insults ambassador to Australia, Kevin Rudd.
Now they've appointed Kevin Rudd, former Labour MP. I mean, he has said the most horrible things.
I don't know, Thomas. I assume so.
You were a destructive president, a traitor to the West, and he's now Australia's ambassador in Washington.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Would you take a phone call from him?
He won't be there long if that's the case. I don't know much about him. I heard he was a little bit nasty. I hear he's not the brightest bulb. But I don't know much about him. But if he's at all hostile, he will not be there long.
Fair enough.
I don't know, Thomas. It says right here, dude. Where's Fukushima? I don't know where this is, dude. I think Fukushima is on the eastern part. This is the west part. In the south, I think. So all of Japan is just completely fucked, dude. The opposite side. This video, I don't want to fucking show you guys. There it is. 4-year-old Satya was receiving treatment at Al Shifa Medical Complex in Gaza for an injury she had sustained as a result of indiscriminate Israeli airstrike. As the Israeli army raided the hospital 2 days ago, Satya, along with hundreds of patients, wounded and displaced people, were forced by the Israeli army out of the hospital and ordered to go to the Deir el-Balah on foot. Then we got a video. Does Russian support Putin? Was the recent election fair? My husband and I have been closely studying history, and we both comprehend quite well. Typical Russian.
С изучения истории, и мы адекватно понимаем, что Владимир Владимирович
очень по правильному курсу ведет страну к росту. Мы абсолютно согласны с политикой и его глубоко уважаем.
Владимир Владимирович, наверное, единственный человек, который может поддержать поднятие русской цивилизации, возродить, как бы это громко не звучало, былое могущество.
Я считаю, что это наиболее достойный кандидат. Я верю ему и считаю, что его предвыборная программа наиболее адекватна, надежна. Уверен, что он выполнит все свои обещания. Я знаю то, как голосовали мои знакомые, родственники. И, в принципе, наверное, такой процент и набрался.
Начнем с той же самой демократичной страны, в кавычках, Америки. У нее в некоторых штатах даже не допускают наблюдателя. Это цивилизованно, вы считаете? Пришел, проголосовал, все нормально. Люди на местах довольно-таки грамотные, все подсказали.
На меня никто не давил, никто меня ни в чем не убеждал. Плюс я могу сказать, что мои все знакомые, мои родители, все голосовали за Владимира Владимировича. Достойный кандидат, у него много к нему доверия. И как бы я не вижу никого, кто мог бы выполнять свои обязанности так, как он на сегодняшний день.
Я твердо уверен, что в нынешней тяжелой политической ситуации только этот человек может корректно направить Россию на нужный курс и привести экономику России в стабильное, крепкое состояние. Все было цивильно, культурно, никакого давления. Отдельное спасибо персоналу, очень помогали.
Он заботится о людях. Он образованный, умный человек. Это самый лучший президент.
Результаты, я не думаю, что они сфальсифицированы даже на 1%. По совокупности причин, это банальный ответ. Сильный лидер для сильной страны необходим.
Я давно придерживаюсь его политики, у меня нет такой позиции, что власть должна быть сменна.
Конечно, за Путина, а то за кого же еще можно голосовать?
Вот из всех, кого я спрашивала, только один человек голосовал за другого.
That was Teo, dude.
Это единственный возможный президент.
That was Teo. Teo voted for the communist guy. Czech Republic to deliver thousands of extra artillery shells to Ukraine. I wonder which kind of shells these will be though, and how many. It says thousands, but is it 2,000 or is it 10,000? They claim that they're talking about 300,000 artillery shells. Yep. Baltimore attacked again, boys. I think it's Belgrade, but this is a lot of damage. This is a lot of damage. Let me just double check, dude. People have been killed. The enemy is shelling the Gravonoski district of Belgorod region since early this morning. So Belgorod is heavily shelled again. But now it's about showing the video. It says they have been killed, dude. Hey, Julia. Obviously not, dude. Obviously not, dude. How is it fake? France is sending troops into Ukraine. Israel is opening a new front against Lebanon. The Baltics, Scandinavia, Germany, France is talking about sending troops into Ukraine. What? Take a look at this commander of the storming operation at Al Shifa Hospital. This is the commander. He's saying, we will pursue Hamas leaders until we eliminate them all. The strange thing is that the officer appears frightened, hidden, and looking at the wall while he speaks. What?
לצד זאת, נעשה כל שביכולתנו להימנע מפגיעה באוכלוסייה האזרחית ונשמור על ערכינו, ערכי צה"ל, לאורם אנו פועלים.
Who did he raid? Serfs, who's that? Oh, outside while I was at work, I discovered this pyramid. No one else saw it but me. We're not referring to Ukraine because we care more about Ukraine. We're referring about Ukraine because it's gonna be the battlefield for Europe. And I just told you about Arabs, dude. I told you about Israel. That's gonna be the battlefield for the Middle East, Julia. So before you get started, dude, I already referred to the Arabs. I'm referring to a battlefield in Europe and in the Middle East. So get fucked, dude. This is the only channel that cares about Arabs, dude. It's the only channels. Look at Macron. Oh, by the way, I don't got a man as a wife. In the area of the village of Pavlovka, ammunition depot of the Ukrainian armed forces were destroyed. Look how it fucking blew up to the side, dude. Got smashed. Masuko, another Italian who debunked the NASA Mars landing, saying it's a Pacific Ocean island. I thought the place they really go to has been identified as some, was it like Greenland or some bullshit? We cover Ukraine and we cover Gaza. That's what we cover, Julia. What is this? It's in the title what we cover, do. The enemy BM-21 Grad tried to get away with the Lancer. I'm gonna stop it right there because there's people there, so I'm just gonna stop it. Okay, this one gets hit. You can see the missile launcher system here. Ukrainian Leopard destroyed. I think this is near Avdiivka. Another Leopard was destroyed, boys. I think. Leopard 2 tank. Zaporozhye direction, okay. Additional Contact 1 dynamic protection modules were also installed. Reactive armor, apparently. Is that the reactive armor, dude? Look at this. What is this, dude? Jared Kushner says Gaza waterfront property could be very valuable, and says Israel should bulldoze an area of the Negev desert and move Palestinians down.
Organization enclave right between them.
Remember, that's Jared Kushner.
In Gaza's waterfront property, it could be very valuable to if people would focus on kind of building up, livelihoods. You think about all the money that's gone into this tunnel network and into all the munitions. If that would have gone into education or innovation, what could have been done?
Yeah, none of these countries that you mentioned are like bad countries at all, dude. They're just like normal countries.
And so I think that it's a little bit of an unfortunate situation there, but I think from Israel's perspective, I would do my best to move the people out and then clean it up. But I don't think that Israel has stated that they don't want.
There are real fears on the part of Arabs, and I'm sure you talk to a lot of them, who think once Gazans leave Gaza, Netanyahu's never going to let them back in.
This guy's talking about waterfront, so that makes sense, dude.
Maybe, but I'm not sure there's much left of Gaza at this point. So
you can just rebuild it, dude. Don't throw them out. What kind of dumb excuse is that, dude? It's not but left, so we have to remove the people so we can get the territory. Just dumb, dude. Fucking dumb. Russia is once again being blamed for European problems. This time Moscow is accused of trading grain incorrectly. According to Politico, Moscow is winning the global grain war and is turning the European Union against Kiev. The author of the article argues that the European farmers are facing difficulties not because of Ukrainian exports, but because Russia has dared to sell wheat, leaving other countries with nowhere to sell their produce. Former British Prime Minister Liz Truss wants America to allow Ukraine to use all possible weapons and tactics, including nukes, and killing civilians. So we got a 17-second interview with an Australian. Did we see this one earlier?
There are some protesters.
This is from the election.
Across the road who are trying to make their presence felt in regard to Navalny and the Ukraine. Good morning, how are we? Who are you voting today?
Yes.
Voting today, yes. Voting today.
I can speak Russian, sorry.
Oh, you can't speak...
It's English.
No, I can't speak Russian either.
That's just dumb, dude. That's just fucking dumb, dude. How fucking dumb, dude. The great imitator Joe Biden was exposed as a civil liar back in '88.
Presidential candidate Joseph Biden today faces a controversy. 3 weeks ago at a debate at the Iowa State Fair, he used phrases identical to those delivered by British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock.
Biden seemed to be claiming Kinnock's vision and life as his own.
Why is it that my wife, who's sitting out there in the audience, is the first in her family to ever go to college?
Why is Gladys the first woman in her family, in 1,000 generations, to be able to get to university?
My ancestors who worked in the coal mines in northeast Pennsylvania don't come up after 12 hours and play football.
8 hours underground, and then come up and play football.
It's because they didn't have a platform upon which to stand.
There was no platform upon which they could stand.
The notion that every thought or notion or idea you'd have to go back and find and attribute to someone, I think is, quite frankly, ludicrous.
The problem here is that Senator Biden told his audience he'd just been thinking about these things, and he failed to give any credit at all to his famous British speechwriter.
You know, I was thinking on the way over here. Now, that's a little too much, because, as you point out, what's behind the words? What's there? And a lot of people, the rap on Biden has always been that it's just a surface.
I should have said, to paraphrase Neil Kinnock, it's the only time I didn't, and all the times I've ever used it.
But CBS News found a tape of a second instance.
It reappeared in the New York Times with a new charge, that Biden had appropriated a famous litany from the late Robert Kennedy about what the gross national product cannot measure.
It cannot measure the health of our children.
The health of our children.
The quality of our education.
The quality of their education.
The joy of their play.
For the joy of their play.
Biden gave Kennedy no credit. He has also quoted or paraphrased John Kennedy, Hubert Humphrey.
This is almost like, is he ridiculing someone? Upsilla, is this like ritualistic bullshit, or is it just because the writer... What happened here, Upsilla?
Humphrey and British Labour Party leader...
This is a different Biden, Chumps. What the fuck happened with the chin balls, dude?
All without credit.
Joseph Biden admitted today that he committed plagiarism when he was in law school. He said it was a mistake, but that it was unintentional.
He quoted 5 pages of someone else's work without proper citation.
I've done some dumb things, and I'll do dumb things again.
He was given an F.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been dumb.
To the political community in Washington, it all seems of a piece. Plagiarism at law school, plagiarism on the stump.
The great communicator. Strike that. The great imitator.
You don't steal verbatim, or when
Today they just kiss ass, dude.
99% of the time you give credit.
Biden's
The
critics...
media is completely fucked today, dude.
...man whose words and visions can inspire a new generation in politics. But if the thoughts, phrases, and visions really belong to others, it's a form of false advertising.
Is it a wise idea, though, to take something that personal, anyway, from another politician and try and appropriate it to your own campaign?
I think it was a stupid thing to appropriate material that was really very personal, that was someone else's.
Most people didn't know who he was, you know, Joe Biden, and now they're going to say, oh yeah, he's the guy who plagiarized. That's
a lot of people.
Politically, that's devastating. These clips are devastating. He looks like a Joe Biden wind-up doll with somebody else's words coming out.
If they're going to do things that are stupid as well as immoral, then they're probably too dumb to have the job of president.
Voters are going to have to decide whether he was dishonest.
NATO has never worked in a defensive way, Julia. When have NATO ever been defensive?
Honest or dumb.
Senator Joseph Biden may have more explaining to do.
The new questions stem from taped remarks of Biden during an April campaign appearance in New Hampshire.
I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. Went back to law school and in fact ended up in the top half of my class. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only needed 123 credits.
Biden now concedes he did not graduate in the top half of his law school class, that he does not have 3 degrees from college, and that he was not named outstanding political science student in college.
Newsweek says Biden actually went to school on a half scholarship, ended up near the bottom of his class, and won only 1 degree, not 3.
Joe Biden ranked 7th.
Smitty. You know what we did, dude? We exposed everyone.
76th in a class of 85 at the University of Syracuse Law School. I mean, this guy comes off this whole thing as a flyweight.
Now Biden says Newsweek is right. His memory had failed him.
And I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours if you'd like, Frank.
Joe Biden was victimized by the truth.
Bye Biden. He may not know it yet, but I think this is going to be very difficult for him to recover.
Is Joe Biden dead meat, yes or no?
I think so.
Believing someone.
Terminal condition.
Terminal. Eleanor.
Yes, unless he comes in third in Iowa.
Morton.
Dying.
I say dead. Will be right.
The media was kind of okay here, dude. The media was okay here, dude. That was 40 years ago. Look, Congressman Jared Moskowitz came to Biden's impeachment hearing wearing a Putin mask. That's cringe, dude. Fucking cringe people.
I just came to thank James Comer for taking all of our intelligence and using it in the committee. Maybe he can come see the technology in our grocery stores. Thank you.
Congressman, do you think this behavior is kind of immature?
Good eye. That was Moskowitz.
That's what I was referring to earlier, Upsilon. Without a doubt, they're gonna do some ritual bullshit, dude. Without a doubt, dude. Hey, Bazarov. And there was a guy earlier who talked about they're gonna use weapons during the solar eclipse on the people outside in America. They're gonna be exposed to some biological weapon. The comms will go down, so at least we can verify if something is happening. Upsilon. That's what I was saying exactly when it happened, because this just looks like it's an open invitation for these sickos to do something, dude. Putin has promised new victories after his campaign success. Election victory is only a prologue.
Победа на выборах – это только пролог к тем победам, которые так нужны России и которые обязательно будут. Спасибо большое.
Biden. This is old Biden, I think. There's no small amount of merit in Biden's political career. Not everyone can lie for 50 plus years.
Try to remember what it was that first got you involved in politics to begin with. I remember for me what it was.
I got involved in politics for 2 reasons, only 2, at the front end of my career. Civil rights and the environment.
Voting rights. Voting rights. Voting rights. That's how I got involved in politics. We ended that damn war. That's why I ran the Vietnam War. That's what got me involved in politics in the first place, a thing called redlining.
I got involved in politics because of the poor and the disadvantaged.
I got involved to try to stop the construction of that highway, which I did. That's what got me involved. I quit the law firm and asked for a job to become a public defender. That's what sort of got me involved in politics. I got involved in politics to begin with because of civil rights and opposition to white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan. It's all about family. It's all about community. And it really is. That's what got Pete engaged. That's what got him.
How did Putin give a reason, Julian? How did Putin give a reason? NATO encroached on Russia. Russia said, if you don't stop, we're going to have to push you away. And NATO said, we won't stop. And then Russia pushed them away. How is that Russia's fault, dude? So the only thing NATO countries have to do is just not go into Ukraine. The only reason why NATO is going to make more weapons is so they can go and fight Russia in Ukraine. Ukraine is not in NATO, Julia. There's no logic behind Putin is behind this. That makes no sense, Julia. That's just dumb thinking, dude. Ukraine is not in NATO. NATO can just stop going into Ukraine. Then they have more money for social spending. Do that.
I got involved in politics because of the neighborhood I came from.
The reason why I got involved in politics, the reason why the president I ran, the president got involved, is the one primary role for government is to protect people. I was at the signing the Voting Rights Act. It's been the only constant in my entire political career. That's what got me involved in politics.
And I got involved because my state was the only state in the Union when Dr. King was murdered that was occupied by the National Guard.
I ran for
Governor of Alabama signed a law banning gender diversity programs in public school.
public office because of the burning, how can I say it? The almost bile that was in my throat about
I know, Shilbel. Don't worry, I know, dude.
Bull Connor's dogs on television.
His voice is different too, dude. This is old Biden.
Same issues relating
That's new Biden.
to what constitutes
That's new Biden, dude.
decency and honor in this country.
Where's the transitioning in that look, Upsilla?
It's just a thing that got me involved in
Just one day to another. Up.
Confluence
Old
of
Biden.
sort of basic values, the things everybody has to overcome in their life, and what you, in fact, basically liked naturally, all seem to, in retrospect, move me in a direction.
Russia is not a terrorist state. The only country that's behind terrorism is America. America is doing terrorism abroad. So is Israel, by the way. But ISIS and Al-Qaeda is literally funded and controlled by America. America is the terrorist state. Russia has not done any terroristic shit like that, dude. Russia had like 8 wars and all of them was on their borders. America has been in 250 wars in that same time span, dude. America is the world's largest terrorist, dude. Right. Right. And Ukraine is obviously not democratic. They banned elections. They banned opposition parties. That's not a democracy. They're forcing their people on the streets to be kidnapped, killed, dude. It's the opposite. Ukraine is fascist. America is fascist. Right.
That got me involved in public issues and public life.
My political hero got me involved in politics. There's a lot of great men, and the 2 Kennedy brothers who are deceased were great.
Folks, it's simple. That's why I got involved in the first place.
That's right, dude. NATO was created and headed by literal Nazis. And America did that because the Nazis were against the Russian. America is essentially Nazis, and they funded Hitler and created Hitler. And America created terrorists and ISIS and Al-Qaeda, but America also created NATO and put Nazis in power. So, yeah. And the Swedes think that they were tricked into joining NATO. They were coerced, like Tom said. So was Finland, dude. The Finnish economy is already suffering because of this. Yes, okay. There's like 5 countries America hasn't invaded, dude. America even invaded Russia. Which is, so remember, Russia is against genocide of the Palestinians. America is pro-genocide. That's generally how you should perceive the situation, Julia. America pro-genocide, Russia against genocide. That's not undemocratic. The election is democratic, dude. Why is it undemocratic? Just because you don't like it. It doesn't matter what you think. That's fascistic thinking. What does the Russian think? Putin has 86% approval rating. That's America saying that the Russians want Putin. That's democracy. You might not like it, but that's because deep down you are a fascist. Right? You don't know anything about corruption in Russia. I can prove that. Julia, do you have an example of corruption in Russia? I know you're not going to answer because you don't know shit about Russia. You're just repeating bullshit lies, dude. 70% turnout. That's right, Monsieur Bolis. And America did polling in Russia. 86% approval rating. By all means, this is the most democratic election in history. Russia is the most democratic country in history. according to America, according to Russia. We don't care about people online not liking the results, Julia, and they want to impose their will on the Russians. That's fascist, like you. In America, you have two candidates. You got two systems. In Russia, you have more than twice that, dude. You have more than twice that. You don't got electoral college. You don't got gerrymandering. You don't got electors in Russia. All of that is completely gone, dude. In Russia, you got foreign observers. You don't got that in America. That's right, Tops. Greece is occupied by America, Smurf. So I doubt it. British surgeon who volunteered in Gaza shares harrowing reality of Israeli genocide with the UN.
It's devastating. Burns in small children. One child that I'll never forget had burns so bad you could see her facial bones. We knew there was no chance of her surviving that, but there was no morphine to give her. So not only was she inevitably going to die, but she would die in agony. And what made it even worse, that there was nowhere for her to go and die. So she was just left on the floor of the emergency department to die.
That was America. Complicit partner in genocide. Killing children unnecessarily because they just want to block the aid going in, dude. That's so bad, dude. That's so bad, dude. America and Israel are literally the most evil countries on the planet, dude. Julia, you don't even know what communism is, dude. I asked you it the last time, you had no idea. I asked you about giving us some criticism about communism, and you had no idea. So you're just full of bullshit, dude. Yeah, you're just full of bullshit. Yeah, I'm so just full of bullshit, dude. Julia, if you don't write it in, you're gonna get banned, dude. Chief EU Gardener and Spanish Joseph Borrell explains how the European beggars will distribute stolen Russian assets.
And we have been discussing for weeks about how to use the revenues of these resources. By the time being, we don't talk about the capital itself, but the windfall profits generated by these assets due to the high increase on interest rates. And after the discussion, the Monday Foreign Affairs Council, I sent to the Council a proposal, a Council decision, a proposal for a Council decision to allocate the bulk of these revenues to the European Union financial capacity. And today, the Commission, when we were meeting together with the High Representative, has also approved a joint proposal for the regulation, the implementation of this decision, if you're
gonna criticize, Julia, next time you criticize something, give a reason. If you say something is bad, say why it's bad, dude. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time, then, dude.
Hope the Council will adopt this decision which I propose. And this proposal is about to allocate 90% of these revenues to the European Peace Facility on the top of the 5 billion.
So they're going to steal Russian assets.
Not a substitution of, but adding to these 5 billion the revenues generated by these frozen assets in order to increase the military support to Ukraine. We do that through the European Peace Facility because the European Union budget cannot use its resources to buy arms. The European Peace Facility, as an intergovernmental fund, can do it. And the rest, the 10%, would be allocated to the Union budget to address reconstruction needs and to support and
So
increase
BlackRock.
Ukrainian defense industry capacities.
BlackRock and the American MIC is going to get the Russian assets too. This is in Israel. Anti-Netanyahu protesters demand elections, chain themselves together outside Knesset. You know what? I think this is organic, dude. These people are nuts. These people are nuts, dude. Yeah, but Julia, you never give a reason for your opinion. I'm gonna ask you to do that going forward, dude. Give a reason for your opinion, Julia. Otherwise, it's worthless, dude. We got 2 Palestinians who were killed in an incident where cars were targeted. Multiple cars were targeted. Okay. That was in Jenin, the West Bank. Yes, we are Montables. Definitely. Definitely do. I think it might be this incident. That one is gonna get hit, and multiple other cars are gonna be damaged. Okay. Now take a look at this. So there's, look, this one is hiding under there. You can't really see it now, right? Look, it's there. There's a plane under here. And it's gonna get hit by a Lancet. Think? But that just hit the roof though. Not sure if that's gonna burn and fall down. Okay, it looks like it is. It looks like it is. Fine, dude. Israeli troops stormed Gaza hospital a few days ago. The video is from today, but they've been storming this hospital for days. Right. Monsieur.